Narcissism exists on a spectrum, and when it becomes difficult, we begin to see personality traits like entitlement, like a lack of empathy, self-absorption, grandiosity. We are talking to people and we feel like we want to pull our hair out because things that they're saying are illogical, they don't make sense, and they're not based in reality. How does a narcissist then turn your friends and your families, even your coworkers, people that you love, your social circle, into flying monkeys? It happens over time. If it's ever happened to you, you are probably someone who's quite shocked. You've ended a relationship with a narcissist. It could be a friend. You've ended a relationship with a narcissist. It could be a romantic relationship. You may have even decided to go no contact with a narcissistic family. And to you, it's over, you're trying to heal, maybe you've moved out of the house, maybe you've moved to another town, and lo and behold, you start to notice on Facebook that the narcissist that you were with is now friending your friends. The narcissist that you have left is suddenly reaching out to your friends and saying things like, have you heard from Lisa? Have you heard from Mary? Have you heard from Don? Have you heard from Jack? I'm really worried about them. The last time we spoke, they were a little bit unhinged. So the stage is being set for triangulation. So in that context, what's happening is the narcissist is regaining their power. So you left them, you're no longer with them, and they need to feel like they're one up on you. So how do they do that? They begin triangulating you. They begin speaking to your friends and your family poorly about you, but it's done in a very covert way. Another thing that narcissists will do is they will begin hoovering around wherever you hang out. So if there's a club that you like to go to, they're there. They start talking to the people that you know. Let's say you have a dog and you go to a particular pet groomer. The narcissist will get a dog and suddenly be at the pet groomer and you won't even know it. And in casual conversations, we'll bring your name up to the vet tech or the groomer and begin a conversation about you. They may even build you up in the beginning, but as time goes on, remember, you don't know this is happening, but as time goes on, the narcissist will begin to say things that are negative about you. He or she might say things that you have anxiety, that you never really got along with your parents. So it could be a bold-faced lie, but the goal is to triangulate you in this situation with the pet groomer or the vet tech. So in the aftermath of ending a relationship with a narcissist, and even sometimes in the relationship with a narcissist, you will discover that behind your back, the narcissist was trying to turn your children against you. You just didn't know it. He or she was saying things that you were unfit, or suggesting that you shouldn't be trusted with finances, things like that. After the relationship has ended, do not be surprised if your narcissist is sitting at your mother and father's dinner table. Do not be surprised if your sister is calling you and say, hey, I just heard from Jack. Is everything okay? He said the last time he saw you, you were a little bit unhinged. Don't be surprised. Laugh about it. Chuckle about it, because it's so freaking predictable and it's so pathetic. And the less you allow it to bother you, the more you hold on to your power. The reason I like to create sessions like this is to give people the heads up. Been there, done that. And while I was in it, I didn't know what I was going through. And that's why I was so frustrated. That's why I reacted. That's why I felt so powerless. It took me a while to understand that I was dealing with an emotional bully. And the less I saw him as someone I needed to fear, the more power that I had. Now, interestingly enough, it wasn't about battling him back that gave me the power. In fact, it was about relinquishing power. It was about going no contact. It was about shutty. It was about gray rock. It was about almost yesing him to death. And when people came to me and told me, oh, I heard this story about you, not in the beginning. In the beginning, I was shaking in my boots. My knees were shaking. I was so upset when I was hearing stories come back to me because they were half-truths and they were distorted truths. And so that was like a minutia. That was a playground of minutia. It was quagmire. It was like I couldn't gain traction because there were just so many things that I would have to deflect and try to explain to people. And I thought, why do I have to explain to strangers my reality? I know the truth. God knows the truth, and even this person knows the truth. But this person wants to create this smokescreen of shame around me and who I am by distorting the truth. And then if I fall for that, then I am disempowered. Then I don't have the ability to stand grounded. I am more worried about what other people are thinking about me than what I think about me. I can't take care of my children. I can't be the best version of myself for my clients. I can't keep producing at work. I can't take care of my home because my mind now is arrested by worrying about what people think about me. When you're dealing with someone who lies and who makes up stories, it is endless. Imagine going to the movies and the movie never ended. I mean, that's what it feels like. And so at one point, those of us who are involved with these types of personalities, we've got to let go. We've got to say, the end, game over, I'm walking out of this theater. It really is a drama. It's a play for them. And they're locked inside their own head. We have to decide, how long are we going to play inside the mind of a narcissist? How long are we going to allow someone to make us feel disempowered? How long are we going to allow this bullying to continue? And once we begin to shift and we understand, wait a minute, my power is in non-verbal communication. My power is in understanding the predictable, pathetic nature of someone who is losing control. If you can develop this attitude and you can create this mindset shift, then you can predict what a narcissist is going to do. So when your sister calls you and says, hey, I just heard from Andy and he said, you can say to your sister, let me guess. Let me stop you right there. Let me guess. So he said I was going to have a nervous breakdown and he's concerned about me. And your sister says, yeah, how did you know? You can laugh. And you say, of course. I could have predicted this. I can only imagine what he's telling my kid's teacher. I can only imagine what he's telling my yoga teacher. I can only imagine what he's telling the grocer or the checkout girl at Whole Foods that I happen to chit chat with every Sunday afternoon when I go to Whole Foods. So it can almost become funny when you're dealing with someone who is this predictable. Those of us who have emotional trauma in the background, it's a lot more difficult. It's a lot more of a tango and a dance, if you will, to extricate ourselves from this drama that a narcissist creates in our lives through the delusions that they have in their own head. Because we're dealing with our own emotional trauma, the fear of abandonment, the fear of rejection. So that becomes part of this minutia of a dynamic that we have to extricate ourselves from. However, understanding that this is the predictable nature of a narcissist will allow you to at least create a space where you can see, wow, there is a pattern. There was love bombing. There was a devaluing stage where I was put down. There was a little bit of a discard. There was this abandonment of me, and this person tried to hoover me back in. Wow, these apologies go nowhere. If you're dealing with a narcissist, sure, they say they're sorry. Some say they're sorry, and nothing ever changes. So it's Groundhog's Day, right? And then you stay stuck. And you can feel like, well, they did acknowledge it. So you play the pro-con game, like, well, they did say they're sorry, but nothing ever changed. You have to look at the fact of the matter. You have to look at the pattern. I would say even be cautious about your emotions because your emotions are being manipulated. So use your logical and rational mind to understand, like, wow, there's a pattern here and things don't get better. And this really is how I feel. I can see the predictable nature of it. He has tried to turn my kids against me. He is turning my family into flying monkeys. If you can see the predictable nature of it, then you can create a space. Now, with that space, now you're not getting pulled in anymore. Now you're going gray rock. Now you're shutty. You're not reacting to them anymore. It's almost like you're filling up a reservoir of energy within you the narcissist isn't able to manipulate anymore. Now, as you are going no contact and taking care of yourself, if you have emotional trauma in your background, if you have a wounded inner child, if you are dealing with ACOA issues, you're the adult child of an alcoholic, you have caretaker tendencies, you tend to be a people pleaser, you struggle with setting boundaries, that's a separate issue. Those issues have been exploited, but that is a separate issue. And that has to be dealt with because if it's not dealt with in this relationship, it's going to resurface in another relationship. If you're ready to learn how to set boundaries like a boss, if you're ready to stop your people pleasing, If you're ready to acknowledge red flags so you never have to deal with another narcissistic relationship again, check out my online 12-week breakthrough coaching program. This is a class that I created through 20 years of research, 20 years of ups and downs in my own life, 20 years of big blunders, 20 years of making tremendous mistakes. I've condensed this 20-year journey into a 12-week class that you can take in the comfort of your own home. It has literally helped transform the lives, the minds, and the bodies of thousands of people who were once unaware that they were unaware and codependent. To learn more about this class, go to www.lisaaromano.com. You can take this class online as an on-demand class at 50% off the original price, or you can participate in one of my live classes, which I launch twice a year with me and my life coaches. And you can also participate in my live group call, which is 90 minutes long every Saturday morning. Ask me anything you like. Dear ones, you are enough, and the power to heal your life is within you. We just got to take back your mind. Bye for now. Hey, if you love this content, don't forget to check out the next video, and you can go to my website and take the codependency quiz.